do. They, really, really great organization, really down to earth guys, and just focused on making a great impact on their local aviation community.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we should get them on the line. And Mark, do you want to dial up?
I think I do.
All right. Excellent. Very nice.
So calling Jay Hahn, right, of Jefferson City, Missouri.
Right.
We'll get Jay on here and talk about what a great runner-up we got there.
Dial a friend.
Yeah, really. AT&T Dial a friend. Hey, Jay, how are you doing? It's Mark Epner of Ground Effect Advisor and Simple Flight Radio.
Doing well. How are you?
Wonderful. So, I don't know, have you been listening or not? I'm glad you're there at this, it's 8, what time is it, guys? 9:15 there. I know you representing 3 individuals, from Jefferson City, and, just as we talked to our last, person who was the actual winner of the scholarship, it's our pleasure to congratulate you on, the thing we weren't expecting, which is the ability to offer additional services and some money and financial aid from AOPA on this runner-up. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We're all pretty ecstatic about this.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And so are we. I think that there's I've been flying over Jefferson City, quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And, whether it's coming back from Kansas City or St. Louis back to, Bentonville, Arkansas back to Chicago, you look down and you really can see like, hey, this is a great little town, that you have Columbia and Jefferson City right there, a couple other small towns, and you don't really hear much of that from an aviation standpoint, and I think this is a great way to kick it off and make it a aviation hub of the Midwest.
We've always said that we know there's a need here. There are a lot of aviation enthusiasts. The town just seems to have the right mixture, and has such a desire for folks to get involved in aviation that we think, in our opinion, it's a great fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the most thing that you're looking forward to in getting this club off the ground?
It's pretty odd, but over the weekend, and I got home very late last night. My partner on this, Jeff Knott, got married yesterday. We attended the reception last night, so we were up pretty late.
Nice.
I had a pause when we talked very briefly at his wedding. I said, hey, this is the only day out of the year we're not going to talk about aviation. So this is your wedding day. Let's leave it off the table. I did take some very good pictures and video footage of him cutting one of the wedding cakes, which was a airplane wedding cake. So
nice.
We'll try to get you some of those pictures pretty soon. But the first thing I think that we're interested in doing is we've already got the domain name started. We'd like to get a website off the ground. We want to let the local community know that there's these benevolent individuals around the U.S. that have put together this scholarship, and they've been so fortunate to choose us as one of the finalists. So we've got a little bit of help coming our way. But right down to the nitty gritty, I'm excited about filing the documents with the Secretary of State's office to start the organization and put together the organizational structure. So, we're just ready to get this thing going.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty exciting, and, as you say that, I said this earlier, this is like building a company, and there's a sense of pride that goes on with this. And, what's going to be a pretty proud moment when you start to, you get the letter back saying, hey, this, your application for this has been approved by the state of Missouri, and then you're like, holy cow, this is real. It's time to really put everything together and get to the brass tacks, which is flying.
Yeah, we're, that's, I guess, kind of one of the secondary thoughts. We've drummed up a lot of excitement around the prospect of a flying club, that maybe even so that we forgot that, this is all about flying and getting people involved in aviation. We're extremely excited about it.
You mentioned that, you registered a domain. Have you guys, started to put thought, obviously, towards a name for your club?
Yeah, I think the unofficial vote, between what I would consider the main partners, there's 3 of us total, myself, Jeff Knott, and Chip Gentry. We have registered, the name. Wings Over Missouri, or it's actually wingsovermo.com. And I'll be starting up an additional listserv for that as well. So I think that's the forerunner for us. So if you see some documents being filed going across the Secretary of State's office, that's probably what it's going to be, is Wings Over Mo.
I like Wings Over Mo.
I'll join.
We're looking for partners. I did a fair amount of recruitment last night at the wedding. So yeah, we're always looking for extra members.
Awesome.
We'd be glad to give you a membership to our club.
I got a question, Jay. Just maybe you can fill us and the listeners in briefly about how you three came together, because I think that was one of the things that really stood out to us, is that got three like-minded individuals who are really organized and really passionate about this goal here. And so maybe just kind of give us a brief overview about how you guys came together and how this process started.
Sure, yeah. So, the true common denominator for all three of us is aviation. That's really what brought us together. Jefferson City still has that small town vibe to it, so it is not common for folks to kind of know the other folks in town. I am not a native of Jefferson City, but I've lived here since 2008 and met Jeff not shortly thereafter. And just out of sheer happenstance, by sitting down and talking to him one night, I found out that he was involved in aviation. He has a lot more aviation experience than even myself. And through Jeff, I met Chip. We kind of had been trying or attempting to acquire an aircraft, Jeff and I had together. And Chip is far more advanced than the two of us. He already owns an aircraft, has many, many hours. And we started setting out to have these informal meetings to see if we could drum up support to buy a six-seater, Piper, either Saratoga or a Lance. And through that, we got Chip kind of interested in the idea. And the more we talked, the more we sat down, the more we had these informal meetings. Next thing you know, we're talking about starting a flying club. And it's extremely peculiar, and it's almost embarrassing to admit this, but Jeff and I have been doing a lot of work on this, and Chip had too, kind of separately. When we'd have these informal meetings, we'd buy the community. But Jeff and I actually filled out the scholarship for the grant application, and we didn't tell each other, because we kind of were under the assumption like, oh, it's just one of these internet things, we'll fill it out, and somebody will turn us down, and nobody will know any of the difference. And then we were both listed in the top 10, and, we immediately called each other like, hey dude, we gotta talk. You applied for the scholarship, and I did too, and now we're in the top 10. And then once we told Chip about it, he got extremely engaged, and, that's kind of the history of the three of us. But aviation's that common denominator that keeps us all together.
Yeah. Oh, that's outstanding. It sounds like you guys have a lot to bring from your outside world. Your, let's call it, for lack of a better term, like 9-to-5 job, and what you can put into this and really start defining your club's identity and tap into each other's strengths, and using aviation as a common bond is one of the things that I always preach in a flying club, and it's really cool to see that. And that's one thing that, in my opinion, really standed out on your application.
Sure. Chip has the legal mind to help shepherd us through many of the potential minefields of formalizing the organization. Myself, I am an executive for a non-for-profit organization. I'm familiar with filing the 990 tax returns, and I know all about board meetings and structures, and I get how that works. I know what it means to have membership retention and recruitment. So I'm very good in that dimension. And Jeff, luckily, his family, they have owned insurance companies and agencies over the years, so he's heavily involved in that business dimension. And I hope that he'll be able to get us a good rate for our aircraft once we acquire them. That would be nice. But yeah, I think between all three of us, we have a great combination of skills that could really move this thing forward at a good pace.
Yeah, what we've seen even with the four of us with marketing and financial and kind of commercial aviation with Al and me leading and starting this flying club, it's very helpful. But what you'll find, and in the flying club that we're part of, we have a lawyer on our board and we have an insurance guy. Beyond that, it's the personalities. I don't know. I was on a recent webinar with AOPA, and the person that acts as the conscience and the person that acts as the optimist and dreamer, and you need all those things. And I think you'll find that the other parts of your life, not only what you do 9 to 5, but the attributes you bring a diverse and productive board. And we also saw that with you guys at a great club.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I'm looking forward to it.
Another road trip.
Yes.
Yeah, in Jeff City. Actually, I have family in Kansas City, so
we're going to do Wings Over Mo soon. That's exciting.
Exactly.
I'm getting a t-shirt, Wings Over Mo.
Yeah. What's that, Jay?
Actually, I'm just developing more ideas as I think about this. Wings Over Mo. Maybe our Friday gatherings, we should serve chicken wings. Maybe.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'll invite guys over. It'll be great.
I don't know. Did you guys talk about the dog day afternoons? I had to
No.
So we, there's probably you guys are all too young to remember the movie Dog Day Afternoon, but, with Dustin Hoffman, but that was our thing on Fridays. Our dream was come to the airport, cook some hot dogs, set up a bunch of chairs on the ramp and just sit down and watch airplanes. So, your Wings Over Mo or whatever translates into, of course, food because we are pilots and we love to eat and a lot of hangar flying.
Yeah, well, I think that's actually a very exciting dimension of all of this. It's a good learning opportunity for young pilots like myself to listen to, not to say there's old timers out there, but
Hey, I resemble that remark.
just the more, experienced pilots, listen to them talk about their experiences. We're most excited about that. And, with your guy that was involved in the Civil Air Patrol, I haven't done that yet. I thought about it. The one thing I think we're all going to be doing is we are reaching out to the people in the community on a regular basis. We routinely are trying desperately to get people involved in aviation, and this will give us undoubtedly one of the best tools to do that. Some folks may have never got involved in aviation because no one ever asked them. Statistics show that when you're trying to get somebody to join a group that they don't know anything about, the number one reason, overwhelmingly 70% of the time, is because no one ever asked them to. So now we have a whole new tool to start asking people, and we're excited about the prospect of growing this thing.
Yeah, Jay, I wanted to just bring up go back to a point you made a couple seconds ago about learning from some of the other pilots in a flying club, and I think it goes, at least for me and in my experience, goes beyond just the meetings. It's flying with others. There's several of us in a room right now, and I've flown with just about every one of these guys, and learned something from everyone, and that's really been a great development piece of my skill set as an aviator. So hopefully you guys can look for that type of environment and get that going down there as well.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. And the exposure to different type of aircraft and different systems, and I just see nothing but raw potential for this. And if it's a guy in your club and you sat down and had wings with them right before you hop in the plane, it's comforting if they're going to try to encourage you on new techniques, or perhaps there's something that you were taught to do a certain way that there may be a better way. I'm very excited about the prospect.
And I don't know that we want to go down this path too far, but it's really exciting what I've seen even just today. Mm-hmm. It's not about just getting in an airplane and trying new techniques. We have a couple pilots, and the one today wanted him to take a trip up north, and it was IFR here, but it was marginal VFR just a little bit northwest, and it kind of turned to VFR. And so he wanted to brief with us, and he grabbed a couple. This is what my thinking is. Finally, we just said, get a special VFR out of here. You're going to make the trip. And actually, it turned out we went VFR just as he was taking off. But he just sent me a text, and I got to my destination. I'm so glad you guys had me go. And so here was one. It wasn't an unsafe thing, but we talked it out. He had an out. He knew how to use the autopilot, and he knew where to go if something went south. And to me, guys, thought this club is pretty neat because now we're providing advice. And I have another person that calls me whenever he's a private, recently minted private pilot. He calls and says, this is what I see the weather. Let's talk about it. And I do that with Al. I'll
Yeah,
call
it's a
Al.
support
and say,
network.
Yeah. Thank you. I know I kind of rambled on, but I get real excited about that.
No, and without that support network, that would have been another hour of a plane that wouldn't have, logged any time.
Right. And a skill that wasn't advanced.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, it goes way beyond just techniques or how to use a piece of avionics. So Jay, I know, this is late, for you, but we really appreciate you taking some time to join us tonight. Again, as I said to our last, person that was our winner, to you as guys as well. Again, thank you. Congratulations. And we're looking forward to working with you.
Well, on behalf of my team, thank you very much. We're very much looking forward to meeting you guys and working with you and hopefully growing this flying club together. Just could not be more thrilled about that. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Our pleasure. Have a good evening. We'll be in touch soon.
Take care, Jay.
All right. Thank you. Night. Bye-bye.
How cool. Yeah.